Welcome to the Friday show for My Amazon Guy. My name is Stephen Pope, and I am the founder of My Amazon Guy. I love jumping straight in and answering questions. This is my favorite podcast format. Nobody else does anything remotely close to what we do every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, where anybody can come in and ask literally any Amazon question, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. I would say 1 out of 25 questions are the first time I've ever heard them asked before. And so there are sometimes I've got to pull the audience. So if you know the answer to something that somebody else asks, don't hesitate. Go ahead and add your 2 cents. I might learn something from you guys today as much as you learn from me. All right. So with that said, we'll go ahead and kick things off. One of the first questions we're going to take from Mike Miller. He gave us a $10 donation. So we'll start on Mike's today. We're going to prioritize member questions just because there's so many of them. I can't get to them all. Mike asks, a brand registered in Canada added me to brand registry in the USA. I got registered agent access. I can't add A+ content, update pages, etc. Will the brand need to get the US trademark, or should I ask Amazon to fix this? So if this is the case, perhaps you had a Canadian trademark get you registered, and that should be cross-applicable into the US, no problem. So I do think this is more of a problem with the data connection and not a problem with the trademark status. Any trademark that's accepted on any Amazon country or platform should be cross-applicable to the other ones for brand registry purposes, such as A+ content. Now, you can't get hijackers removed in another country if you don't have a trademark in those countries. That's why we came out with a Canadian trademark service. If you're interested in checking that out, I'll put a link in the chat. Now, it did get a little rougher to get the Canadian trademarks to go remove hijackers. We have not had as much success with this in the last month, but we had near 100% access when we first came out with this. So there might have been a policy change. Still worth doing, in my opinion, to get your Canadian trademark, because if you're going to sell in Canada, you need it. But I don't think that's the issue here for you, Mike. I would go ahead and ticket that, make sure that the brand node ID is set up in the US. That's the keyword you're looking for, Mike. Brand node ID. File tickets within the brand registry portal as well as Seller Central in the US, specifically in the US, drop down on both of those to see if you can get that fixed. We're also going to go to another question from Mike. I added US brand registry to the UK. I see the brand added in the brand registry account, but I can't add A+ content there either. So I think it's a brand node ID, Mike. I truly do. And lastly, Mike says, any way to get Amazon UK to update a page? I tried showing handhold images of the product with UPC. Only have this one item on the brand. I want a trademark on a later date. So if you don't have a trademark or brand registry for an item and you can't update the detail pages, your only course of action is to file tickets within Seller Central specifically. And you're doing exactly the right thing, showing pictures. The other thing I'd recommend, Mike, is putting a brand manufacturer URL in your ticketing, and that should also help you. All right, so let's go to our member questions from top to bottom. We'll prioritize those. Abdallah says, what's your thought about Amazon Global Logistics? I think it's a necessary thing. I think a lot of people have seen Amazon cancel shipments that haven't shipped over 90 days. Amazon's supply chain is so bad right now that if you use their global logistics program, you might go to the top of the line. You'll have less risks. The cost might even be better. I don't actually know if that's true or not, but I would lead to believe that you'd have a slightly more favorable cost. But the less worry right now by using Amazon's partner carriers, using Amazon's global logistics, will outweigh any of the other factors right now. So I was reading the comments on my YouTube channel this morning. We had a gentleman that had a shipment that was canceled, and he's literally just landing in port in the US, and he can't print a BOL to get it into Amazon. And I told him, you're going to have to put that into a 3PL and ship it in with a new shipment. And of course, nobody wants to do that. That's a huge cost, huge burden on people right now. But everybody with shipping restrictions are just a total mess right now. It's really, really rough. Did you enroll in Amazon Launch? I think it means pad for any of your customers. The answer is no. I think Launchpad is a total waste of money. It is a direct competitor for me, so I'm a little bit biased on this question, right? So if you use Launchpad, you may not use an agency. However, we've had 2 clients who started with Launchpad, couldn't get past 10,000 a month in sales. They then hired us, we disabled Launchpad, and then we were able to get them significantly faster growth. One of the cool benefits of Launchpad, though, that I can't get somebody is a video in your A+ contents. So, but I think Launchpad is terrible for so many reasons. My biggest one is that they actually take a cut of your gross sales, and after they get you generally set up, they just basically walk away. And so it's just kind of a wasted partnership, no benefits, year-long contract you can't get out of, that sort of thing. And so they've got you in a vice. In addition to that, they put you in the Launchpad category, which is terrible for search purposes. I think Launchpad will damage a brand, not help them get launched. What's considered to be a good Amazon account yearly return on investment? I got the video for you, and that would be with Tyler Jeffcoat. We did an interview with him. I put the link already into the chat, Abdallah. Watch this video after today's session. There's an actual graphic where he basically had, I want to say it was $250,000, might have been 500K, 500 million, something like that, where they had different data on what was a typical return on an investment, PPC expenditures, all that good stuff. And so that video is definitely the answer to that question. Check that one out. Cool Peep says, "Hi, love your channel. Thank you so much. I have a trademark done by Mag." Well, that's fantastic. We love to hear that. What happens if it works now and the USPTO declines it later? Will I lose brand registry and have to rebrand? So great question. So when this happens, you will have access to A+ content for 6 months, at which point Amazon will disable your brand registry. So you've got your money's worth already just by having the A+ content for 6 months. It pays for itself. But if that happens to you, you would need to either refile your trademark or pick a different brand name and rebrand, just like you mentioned. This is typically pretty rare. Most trademarks just go right through, no problem. From a numbers perspective, I mean, we file 50 trademarks a month right now. I need to actually up this number here. It's like more like 500 now that we filed at my Amazon guy. In the event that we think a trademark will go through and we file it and it does not go through, you have me on camera saying that we'll waive $500 off another trademark with us. Very rare for this to happen. Usually only happens if it's in a weird category, that there are kind of unique things that we couldn't predict. So we had one in the bud growing category that got rejected this year. We had to refile, and the way we got around that was by filing a logo mark the second time. Cool Peep says, "Thanks, Steven. I changed the brand name recently, but it's still pointing to the old store. Example, visit XXX stores, link on the listing." This is a ticketable thing for sure. Seller Central ticket should fix this one for you, no problem. This could be related to the brand node being old, not new, for it to matriculate through the system. This is a minor issue, shouldn't be too hard to solve. In the A+ Content Manager, one of my SKUs is not eligible for A+ content, even though it's brand registered and has a storefront. What could be the issue? Have you loaded a UPC code to this item? So getting an item loaded to a storefront is not hard. Does not even have to be part of your brand registry, actually. So that is an unrelated issue. But if you don't have a UPC loaded, there's no unique identifier to attach the product to your A+ content, your brand node ID. Key phrase of today's session so far, brand node ID. If you have any issue with an item not linking properly, not eligible for A+ content, it's always one of 2 issues. Either UPCs are not loaded or you have a brand node ID that is not properly set up. I love you too, Cool Peeps. Thank you very much. If you want to share your affection, by all means, feel free. Optimism definitely helps. Scuda says, "Please review this ASIN." All right, we got our first ASIN review today. And we always are happy to do ASIN reviews. On occasion, if I can't make a Friday session, I'll have Jason, Master Mateo, fill in for me. And he did an ASIN review 2 weeks ago. So if you're curious, you can go back and watch that one. So here is the ASIN. I've registered it under a wrong brand name. Can it change it for me? Is the legit brand owner going to take control of my listing? I mean, it's literally under somebody else's brand. So that's terrible. I hate to hear that. So If this is your listing and you put the wrong brand name here, what you need to do is change that brand name. A couple of ways you can change the brand name. You can delete the listing and relist it with the same UPC and all that information. Sometimes that's necessary. A full template upload also can be beneficial. And then finally, lots and lots of contact points with the Seller Central, contacting them with tickets, phone calls. We do have a brand name change service at My Amazon Guy. It is expensive, $1,000, and that's because it's a lot of work to get these brand names to change. There's a lot of technical troubleshooting. But for anybody that gets that problem, feel free to check it out. I'll put a link to that inside of the chat. All right, there you go. But Scuda, definitely, let's get the ASIN review going here. So let's go back to the ASIN. So in here, and we'll get rid of this on the screen here, I think a lot of things are done correctly. Like the graphics are fantastic. There is people looking at the screen. You can tell the product in use. You know who the target demographic is. All of that is very, very present. You even have it like professionally graded so people can aspire that like, hey, this is going to be so awesome of a ping pong paddle set. You're going to spend $90 on this. So you want to feel like you're getting that professional gradism. So I think the graphics are fantastic. I think a really great job on this. The video is going to be great because it gives us the, I'll give you a little helpful upvote there. We'll turn down the music a tiny bit. So in here, what we're looking for is banana for scale, show it in use. I think the biggest mistake you're making here is you didn't show the product in use in the first 5 seconds. You're trying to like set this up, right? You're having it like accumulate and go bigger and bigger and bigger, which is great for a video concept. I like that. But on Amazon, people don't have that sort of attention span. So right there, that's the shot. This is the shot that I would set the video to start on. I would play something like this for 5 seconds and then literally go back to the beginning and play it like you did. And then that will show the product in use, let people know that they're going to see that banana for scale shot. So I think that's the first edit I'd recommend. From a text standpoint, it's chock full. I do think your category benefits from emojis. If you can get a ping pong ball or a paddle emoji in there, that'd be fantastic. And then because you've got a brand name issue, you don't have A+ content. That's the next step on your journey. So not only do you think you're going to need to change the brand name, you also might benefit from our A+ content design. Check that out there. We've done that, like 1,000 designs, I swear. And you can see things that we could do for you to help improve your sales. All right, so let's go back to the next member question, kind of scrolling through and seeing where we picked off here. Old Hickory, good to see you again. Let's say you have a client that sales drop suddenly. Yeah, this happens all the time, actually. What things do you check to see if the listings are working as they should? Session drop, hidden suppression, what other things? So first of all, let's define what a hidden suppression is. So let's go back to the screen share here. So let's just use the ping pong balls. So if you were to type an ASIN in like this, and it does not show up when you do the search, that would be classified as a hidden suppression. So if that's you, then you would need to go figure out why it's a hidden suppression. It could be the title, the photo, or a lack of category ID being set. Those are typically the 3 things that cause a hidden suppression. Those are the first things we do check for if sales are tanking. We look for listing yanks, performance notification problems. We look at the PPC. Is the ad banned from PPC? So like you guys hear me talk from time to time about how my former bestseller, social drinking alone wine glass. Here we go. So my item right here, this item with 2,000 reviews was organically ranked #1 for the term wine glass. And then shortly after Valentine's Day, they banned it from ads. It was in advertising for well over a year. We're talking really awesome seller, and then it banned from ads. So that could have been the reason for some other listings that go down. If ads are banned, that's a problem. So if you see your PPC impressions disappear, that's the problem. The other thing I'd look at is conversion, CTR, try and troubleshoot some of those other angles. But the hidden suppression one, that's definitely the first place to start because it's the easiest. And if you aren't showing up in search, that's going to be the primary reason for a sales drop-off. Definitely. Can brand registry help with flat files for multiple ASINs to make changes to product category or product page issues, or only one ASIN at a time? What to choose on support menu options? So Great question. So flat files can be used with multiple ASINs. No problem there at all. Progress with that. You'll be fine. In terms of brand registry ticketing or other ticketing methodologies, I do recommend going one-to-one. Having a one-to-one ticketing methodology is definitely going to be superior because you're going to be able to get the problem solved a lot faster. The members that work in the troubleshooting departments over at Amazon are metric based on ticket solution. So if the ticket is too large, they might just phone it in and go to the next ticket. So that's why you like to have bite-sized tickets. It helps them with their metrics. So one ASIN at a time, definitely the recommendation there. When you're contacting seller support, brand registry support is superior to Seller Central support for almost any catalog issue. So if you don't have brand registry, you don't have a trademark, that's your first mistake. Obviously, most people listening to this podcast have a trademark at this point, but we still file like 50 trademarks a month. So there's definitely people that still need them. And so inside a brand registry, there's probably a couple of tutorial videos that I've done on filing brand registry tickets. Let's see if I can find one here. So I'm just going to type in brand registry. Let's see what comes up. Brand registry bugs, that's a good one to watch. Brand registry rejection, application bugs, claiming ownership. I'm trying to think which, maybe the one that had the hidden suppression might be a good one to watch. So this particular video, I think it's a year old now. It might be older. So check this one out on hidden suppressions. That one could be helpful to show you kind of like how to ticket changes and stuff like that. All right, let's go to the next question from Carla. I have been trying to update my main image, even did it through a flat file, but it is not updated on my detail page. I can see the updated image on my managed orders page. It's been 48 hours, tips. So this is definitely a brand registry support ticket. We're getting a lot of brand registry questions today. So inside of brand registry, you're gonna submit an image update to refresh the catalog. You're gonna put the ASIN in. You're gonna select the image to change and use the following phrase: please use my seller contribution to reflect. And then Carla, the other thing I would say is when you go on the detail page, hold down on your keyboard Control F5. That is a hard refresh. If you're seeing the image show up on the orders page, there's a small chance that everybody else actually sees it on the detail page just fine, but you're not seeing it because you have an old cached version, which a lot of websites use to speed up page load times. So Carla, could you try the Control F5 real quick? Let me know if that fixes your problem and report back. Maybe during the podcast, I'd be curious to see if that solves it for you. Cool peeps. Oh, one more. Steven, you once mentioned that we can, via an API, get names and addresses of purchaser info. Which company provides that via API? That's actually an Amazon API. So you would integrate through their AWS system and build an API direct connection. Now, when I mentioned that it was still available today, I don't know if it is. I haven't rechecked it. I suspect it is, but it's definitely something I think is on the chopping block. So wouldn't measure that one too heavily, but that's going to go through API setup through AWS. Cool peeps. Very, very technical question on that. Studio 11, with brand registry, do we leave the barcode on products shipped in or use FNSKU code? Saw a video that stated we would get hijacked if we do not use FNSKU code on products. Please explain the difference. So I believe what you're talking about is the difference between using the UPC barcode or the FNSKU barcode. And the reason for using the FNSKU barcode is if you have wide distribution network and other people are selling the same item on your listing, buy box rotation, you'd want to use the FN barcode by and large 100% of the time. Additionally, if you are let's see, if you're doing like a drop ship or if you're doing cross retail and there's other people that own the brand, you have to do the FNSKU barcode. And then finally, if you're in a category that's consumable, you know, like a drink or a food item, or if it's topical, goes on top of your body, so it goes like a lotion or anything like that, you must use the FNSKU barcode. Now, if you're in home and goods, not required. So a lot of brands that are like Amazon brand only, they don't even print UPC barcodes. They just print the Amazon product code to begin with. And that's totally fine too. Nothing wrong with that. I do have a video where I talk about barcodes in depth. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see if pull up on screen here. Using the old search box here. So barcode labels, can use the same labels, barcodes for Amazon FBA. Let's see, full guide here. This is the one I want. So full guide on everything with labels guide. Check that one out following our session today. You'll enjoy that one. Please do a video about shipping products via a cargo ship. How do we know which port to select? Customs agents, freight forward, endless questions about different fees. So I am not the guy to shoot this video. Norm is definitely the guy to shoot this video. So lunch with Norm, and I bet you Norm probably does have a video on this one, quite frankly. So he's the sourcing master guru. We did a great podcast with him, Secrets of Sourcing. It will not answer your question that you just asked here, but it's another great tool for sourcing questions. So Sourcing Podcast, check that one out. We should tag Norm in the comment section of this video, see if we can get him to come in and answer your question. So if somebody wants to send a link to this over to Norm, help me out. Say, hey, we need Norm to answer this one. We'd very much appreciate it. SC Trojan Baller, I am 5 days shy of my first month of this product, already ranked organically for 1,300 keywords and 250 sponsored keywords. I've already done pink words update. What's the strategy to rank for the top 10 keywords? So when we do 3 phases of SEO, so kind of a recap review for those that don't know what that means. Phase 1, it's all about best practices, no duplicate keywords, 250 characters, search term field. You want to have words that are in your title, in your search term field, etc. when you first start out. That's for maximum indexing. That's phase 1, maximum indexing. Phase 2, this is about incremental indexing. We call it the pink word update. That's what SC Trojan just talked about. And that's where you take words out of your search term field that are already present somewhere else in your listing. Now, the reason why we do that in phase 1 is because it's the best way to index fastest. And so once you go to the incremental stage, that's when you're trying to slough off those and add in some new ones. Finally, phase 3, this is what SC Trojan thinks they're ready for, but they may or may not be. Do you have 50 keywords in ranks 20 through 50? If not, you're not ready for phase 3 of SEO. You would need to rerun phase 1 or phase 2 and switch the keywords to index for further keywords. The reason for this is if you don't have enough keywords in striking distance on your listing, you're not ready to do the most complicated SEO phase, phase 3. And that's where you take those keywords that are in ranks 20 through 50 and you massage them into every nook and cranny, search term field, title, bullets, A+ content, alt text, all of them together. And you want to squeeze them everywhere you possibly can. You throw away the rules of phase 1 and phase 2, and you're adopting matriculation of strike zone keywords. And so it's the most complicated phase. You will rerun phase 3 SEO repeatedly, different timeframes for different accounts, depending on success, results, etc. But 50 keywords in ranks 20 through 50. If you don't have that, you're not ready for phase 3. More search volume keywords, bid heavily on those keywords in my PPC campaign, hoping to convert more on those terms. That can definitely help you. And by the way, I do like to see a ratio of 1 to 2, 1 PPC keyword for every 2 indexed keywords. So you might be under tapped on your PPC keywords based on that stat alone. That's, it's a large metric where I'm making a big claim. Not going to be the case in every category, of course. But for the most part, I do like that 1 PPC keyword to every 2 SEO keywords. So if you're not doing that range, you need to check it out. Hi, Jamir on LinkedIn there. Scrolling down to other member questions. If I have a product ready to go to Amazon with 12 different color variations, can I list 6 of them to start and add the other 6 later? Yes, you can. Very easy to do this. Once you make a parent SKU, do a flat file template, upload the load the next 6. Very, very comfortable doing that. No problem there. You'll have no challenges of any kind other than the fact that doing parentage template uploads is data complex. So you might need a coaching call from us if you run into a problem there. And by the way, for those that don't know, you can become a member of the YouTube channel at My Amazon Guy by going to youtube.com/myamazonguy. Just click on that join button. And we prioritize member questions just because we get too many. We can't answer everybody. So we're trying to find a way to invest in those people that invest in us. Scuda says, you recommend fast product photography. I do. However, the reply was something to the effect of, there would be no need for our service. Should I try a more expensive service, ping pong paddles? So Scoot, if you're talking about the listing we looked at earlier, your product photography is already fantastic, right? You may not need any additional assistance on that. Maybe some lifestyle shots are what you need. And so getting like product shots on white's not what you need. So products on white photography, that's another company we recommend. And by the way, if you ever want to see a list of companies that we recommend, we do have some affiliate relationships with some of these. You can just go to myamazonguy.com and click on third-party services in the bottom left. You can see a full list of all of our lists here. Our chatbot is a little annoying. It freaking pops up on every page. Like, that's stupid. We need to update that. I'm going to contact my IT guy to get that fixed. All right, let's go back to the next question. Thank you. You're very welcome. Carlos says, I went to create the case with brand registry, but it shows the updated image. Control F5 didn't work. I asked friends from other places, and they still see the old image. Called support, and they see the old one too. Okay, so you rolled a few things out, so you're farther ahead in the process. That's great. I would go ahead and do a brand registry tickets, as well as a seller support ticket, and let them know, like, take a screenshot of you seeing the old image and then say they need to do a catalog refresh of that picture load. So I think that'll be the problem there. TJ Maxx says, a company contacted us to be the distributor of our brand. Is this a good idea to expand the brand, or anything to be careful about? Generally speaking, terrible idea. TJ, most people that want to be a distributor want to sell your stuff on Amazon. They will add zero value to you by selling on Amazon. There are some Amazon experts out there that claim that having multiple sellers of a brand on a detail page is beneficial. Generally speaking, most of those people are in situations that call for vendor central, buy box rotation, and complex omni-channel brands. I am not a proponent of that. I think having sole control of your listings on Amazon is by and far and large way superior. The more you open up your distribution network, the more policing you will have to do, the more relationship building you're going to have to do. You're going to have a lot of complex problems. If you sell through a distribution network and they sell it to 10 other people, you then have to police those other 10 people to not show up on Amazon. And it creates a litany of issues and problems, especially when you consider this. If I'm a dude in my basement trying to make a buck today, and I don't give a crap about your brand, but I become a distributor of your brand, am I going to advertise your brand? Probably not. Right? Like, I'm not going to spend any money pushing your brand. I'm just going to, coast and rotate on your buy box rotation. So that's generally speaking why I don't recommend opening up your distribution network at all. My wife likes to watch on occasion and support me. These questions are so high level today, way over my head. I watch these every week. So very technical ones. Sorry, Control F5 didn't work for you, Carla, but at least you ruled that one out. Is the social distancing glass fulfilled by merchant needed for a birthday gift? I mean, it's still available by FBA. We don't have FBM enabled at this point in juncture, but you're welcome to buy it. You can still buy it and get it in 2 days. I still have way too many of them. Please do make a purchase. I'll put a link in the chat for you. If you want to support me, you can buy a social distancing wine glass today. And I'll put that in the chat here. So this is that glass in question. It's a funny gift, although nobody wants to social distance anymore. So it's not as funny as it used to be. So it's on its last leg as a product. Thank you for the ASIN review. What happens if I hire you to change the brand name and it turns out it can't be done? We will refund you 50%. So we have that guarantee publicly listed on our detail page of our service. If we can't change your brand name, we'll give you $500 back out of that $1,000 that you committed to us. So not a full guarantee, but it's a half guarantee. And quite frankly, we've not actually had to issue any refunds. We've had a 100% success rate. I'm just uncomfortable giving people a 100% guarantee because there's going to be some dude out there that literally will be impossible, that will abuse us and come in and try and use us to do something that he knows is impossible. So that's why we don't want to give a full guarantee there. My listing is listed on Canada without my knowledge. This happens all the time. We did a bunch of videos on Canada, and that's why we loaded the Canadian Trademark service. So let me see if I can find that video for you. I found it. Here we are. So Trademark hijackers, SC Trojan. This is for you, T-Mark in Canada. So the only solution that we are aware of to remove hijackers in Canada is to obtain a Canadian trademark and use the serial number to file brand registry tickets to remove them. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, we've not had a 100% success rate of this of late. But we still do recommend removing them and purchasing a Canadian trademark, which we do offer and we do sell. If you don't have any trademark, buy the US trademark first. If you have a problem in Canada specifically, that's when you'd want to come in and get a Canadian trademark. So to answer your question, how can this happen? Why does this happen? Typically speaking, what happens is you've got drop shippers in the US as well as Chinese sellers selling knockoff items, and they take your product, they list it in other countries and use it as a way to sell your item when you're not present there. So what you need to do is load the listings yourself on your own account, whether you're going to sell them or not, especially in Canada. And then you're going to file tickets to take them down and claim that they're hijacking your listing, and they are not. They're selling counterfeit goods, because they are. They are always selling counterfeit goods in Canada, like almost 100% of the time. So that's what I recommend on that front. So hopefully that's helpful to you. I think that's all of our member questions in queue. So we're halfway through, and we'll go to the rest of the questions here. Is it against terms of service to use my own customer review photos for product image? Also, how about using customer quotes in the image? So we're in the gray zone on this one, TJ. So it is fine to use a customer's image in a product image, but I wouldn't just go straight up and use it. I would like graphically alter it and try and like embellish it a little bit. I have never seen a problem with that. To use quotes from product reviews, that is prohibited. Now, I think it's very rare that we'll see Amazon take them down. I'm just letting you know that it's going to happen. So just be prepared for that. But yeah, so that's the answer to that one. Chris, thanks for becoming a member today. If you have a question you want us to jump on, feel free to post it. We'll go to you next, Chris. Looks like you posted one earlier. Can you let me know what you would do to improve this listing? So let's look up your ASIN. Let's see how good my typing skills are here. I can't copy and paste straight over. So Bravo 0, I put in all caps here, otherwise it doesn't go through sometimes. Bravo 0, 8B, QZ, 8B, SC. Let's see if I did it right. I think so. All right. Skull with reflective eyes. So cool product. American flag vinyl decal stickers for truck sniper Marines. Cool. So you definitely know who your target demographic is. All right. So what would you do to improve the listing? I would show your target demographic. You and I both know who the target demographic of this listing is. It is veterans and wannabe veterans, right? Wannabe patriots who want to be quote unquote badass, right? So you're not going to see this on a liberal's vehicle, right? They're not going to be putting this on their vehicle. So you need to show some conservative military veterans for this product. Now, a few of you, I've started to trigger a couple of people in the audience by mentioning the fact that I am telling an individual to cast a smaller tent. Now, what people fundamentally do not understand about marketing, it is your job to profile people. So you need to be comfortable with this vernacular. And the only reason I even take a moment and pause to analyze that is because I get a lot of flack for being a polarizing subject matter expert on marketing. So I need everybody to understand, if you drink my tea with me, drink my cup of coffee, I don't even drink coffee. You need to profile your target audience. So now that we've gotten past that acceptance, the next layer is you need to identify who your target demographic is, and you need to embrace them, and you need to show them. You need to humanize the product. So the number one thing missing from your listing is the human. It is the military veteran who is missing from this. You need to show me a video of a veteran slapping this on his truck, and make sure you know it's a veteran doing this. And you need to show more facial expression happiness. because this item, you're not selling a decal. You are selling an emotion, right? You are selling the fact that they are proud of where they've been. They used to be a sniper. They used to be a Marine. They are proud of their heritage, right? And so a lot of groups of people, Marines included, feel like the community does not embrace them. So they go out of their way to embrace themselves and find other like-minded individuals, right? So if you go into a store and you see somebody who's wearing a particular paraphernalia and it says, regardless of your personal own beliefs, you are prompted to do one of two things: reject or accept that individual. This happens in a split second, right? Now, if you accept them, the chances of you communicating with this individual have now skyrocketed, right? Finding other like-minded individuals is something we seek as a human culture. And so obviously this question really made me think and kind of come out of the box here a little bit. So the other thing you need to do is get that A+ content up. If you don't have your trademark yet, you do have your trademark, but you don't have A+ content. You're asking for an ASIN review with no A+ content. So Chris, you need to get A+ content. Number one thing you need to do for this listing to get it going further. I mean, this is a 400 product review listing without A+ content. And that is super interesting. The last thing I want to do, because you have a great product here that led to a good communication. I am going to look at your keywords to see where your opportunity is. So we're going to put the ASIN in. We're going to do a Cerebro lookup here and see where your keywords look, what the top level is. So you are organically ranked for 2,000 index keywords. That is a great number considering you are only advertising on 100 keywords and you don't have A+ content. So Chris, even if you ignore all of my advice today, you're going to have a successful product. You have 2,000 keywords index. That's fantastic. But if you want to go from 2,000 keywords to 4,000 keywords, get your A+ content done today. Hit that one home today. All right. Hey, Pope, good to see you. Bullets and description correct in the back end and in category listing report, but changes not reflected on product page. Have brand registry, but no UPC listed with GTIN exemption. Candace, you're not going to like my answer. Go buy some UPC codes off eBay and load them. I don't care if you have a GTIN exemption, but your problem is specifically because there is not a unique identifier loaded to your product page. I cannot tell you how many people have hired me for a $500 coaching session who have been in your exact situation. I literally just go on eBay, I buy them a UPC code, and I fix their problem. And they're like, "What the frick? How was that easy to fix?" And it's like the guy you pay to come in and unlock your vehicle, right? And they're like, "I need payment before I do this." And they're like, "Why?" And because the answer is because you're going to be ashamed of how fast this happens, right? They do their thing and they're done in 10 seconds. And they're like, "I have to pay you $100 to unlock my car." And they're like, yes, you do. Right. So if you want to avoid calling me up and paying me for a $500 coaching session, which by the way, I recommend, I obviously want your money. We have a lot of coaches available. And I had to jack my rates up just because my time is so limited. 4 kids under 6 and a giant business. We're at 91 employees today. 91. We're going to hit 100 faster than I thought we were. We have had a lot of success, and it's because of the community we've built. But in any case, load a UPC code, even if it's not the GS1 purchase code. Now, obviously, that's more ideal. You're supposed to have GS1 codes. But if you just tried to load the eBay, retired UPC code, you'll probably be happy to see that your problem goes away instantaneously. I've seen it so many times, so I can't tell you enough. You need to load UPC codes. I do not care if you have a GTIN exemption. I don't care if you have 1,000 SKUs on your account. You need 1,000 UPC codes. Got to happen. It's a must. It will save you so much heartache, Candace, I assure you. All right. So is it against? I think we did that one already. So let's scroll down. I hid those keywords in my backend. Oops, should have described. Well, I appreciate it. Good idea. Glad to hear it. Glad you liked it, Chris. Scuda, what will I need to send you to create my A+ content? You also create the store. So we don't do brand store creation outside of full service. And the reason for that is it's actually really easy to create a brand store. One of the first most viral videos I created on YouTube was how to make a brand store. Now, the only challenge on how to make the brand store is that header graphic. So you could go find any graphic designer to get, for $50, go get your header graphic made. You don't need to hire me to build a brand store. Now, for any full service client, we do build brand stores, and I do recommend brand stores. They are critical. They're not an offensive play. They are a defensive play. And I'll explain why. So this is, a brand store that we built for a jewelry company, right? Chris Ayer. And it's a pretty freaking good brand store, in my opinion. And we go through, here is a free video on how to create a brand store. Check that out, brand store video. And this was literally when I was a company of 2. I made this video when I had me and 1 assistant. And you can create a brand store very, very easily on your own. So for A+ content, what do we need if you hire us for that? If you go over to design, A+ content, all we need from you is some basic photos on white or whatever you got. If you got some lifestyle graphics, that helps. We will take whatever assets you have. We will then graphically alter them, imbue them with alt text and other product modules, right? So one of my favorite modules is the product grid, and it allows you to link to other products. So bottom left here, you can see an example of the product grid. You can link to other products. So Chirp Wheels, one of our largest clients, they've been on Shark Tank. They're a Utah-based company. Fantastic product. I like to shill for them all the time because I'm a big believer in their product. It makes my back feel really good. Highly recommend them. If you're looking for a gift for somebody this week, buy them a Chirp Wheel. It's a fantastic item. Anyway, so one of the things about them, they sell a lot of other accessory items that don't get a lot of headwinds. So what we did is we put them into the product grid of their main bestsellers, and we started getting traction. The average order value started going up. And so there's a huge benefit to having products in the product grid. So highly recommend that. So yeah, long-winded answer on that one. And we have not been able to get to very many non-member questions today. I apologize. So how do we buy a mag hat? Don't see the merchandise for sale on the website. Oh man, I get this question from time to time, and I'm tempted to act on it. I guess I'm going to have to after getting the question today. So they're very expensive to make is the problem. And so I don't exactly think anybody's going to want to pay me money to wear my swag, right? But I'm going to make it happen. We'll make it happen. So I will take that as an action item and send this over to my warehouse team to get some swag available for purchase. Maybe we'll sell it at a loss. I don't know, but I can't sell it at $15 and make a profit. I'll literally lose money. I'll have to sell it for that's a t-shirt. For the hat, it's going to be like $30, even break even. It's so expensive to make these. All right. So let's go through some of the non-member questions. I'm going to see if I can find a couple of good ones. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them today. So as I'm scrolling through some of these, does your agency create copywriting to create a listings? We do, only for full service clients. We don't do it project a la carte. There's just so much involved in creating a copy. We have several full-time copywriters at the My Amazon Guy agency. Our copy queue is always full. It's a very good process. What's the best way to appeal a false infringement claim made by a competitor? My product is not infringing. It was done maliciously. Submitted multiple appeals, but have not had any success. So you need to showcase that you're now compliant. So read the infringement claim and then say you've removed it. So don't fight them. Don't say that you're not compliant. Just say that you're now compliant and say, hey, I've removed the infringing content. Here is the proof. Give them a screenshot, show them the data file, whatever it might be, and see if you can get that taken care of. Do I use Amazon's inventory placement service? No. You pay extra, Collie, if you do that. You're going to need to have shipping your inventory to 3 locations is superior. It costs less, even if they're clear across the country, than using Amazon's inventory placement. Product has a price range of $7 on the USA market, profit margin 31%. What PPC strategy should I opt to get some profitable sales? As I heard, PPC for products below $10 doesn't work. So the question is what should you do here? 31% profit margin means roughly $7 divided in 3. That is how much you can spend on PPC to break even. So what I would do if I were you is I would find 3 keywords that are just fundamental to your product success and advertise those at a loss. Try and use it for keyword traction gaining for organic listings. and be selective about your PPC campaigns. I assure you, it will definitely increase your sales on the organic side and will pay out for you. I have a product with relevant keywords with 0 search volume, but when we checked on Amazon, it's showing 60%. But these long tail describing my product now, should I go for semi-relevant? It's a new launch. I'm thinking about that one, Daniel. Let's think about this. So relevant keywords, 0 search volume. So what I would say is go for at least volumes of 200 monthly search volume, or don't pay attention to those. That'd be my best advice. Why do you need Canadian Trademark, even though you said trademark work across borders for brand registration? Lucas, here's the bright line for this. To do a hijacker removal, you have to have the trademark in that country. That's the bright line. You don't need a Canadian trademark to get brand registered or to get A+ content into those other marketplaces. Firm says, on the product listing page above the A+ content, there's an area called videos. I want to put my videos on there and other competitor pages for free exposure. Is there any risk for doing this from my buying account with the same email as my selling account, or any best practices? No problems at all. Go ahead and proceed with this. We do it all the time. It's definitely a best practice. I definitely recommend it. It's going to be a minor impact. So, knock this out and move on to the next thing. You're not going to be able to measure much from this. Lunga says, do you have any tips on how to get approved for Project Zero? I have a hijacker and Amazon is helpless. Try the transparency program first. It's easy, immediate access to get into transparency. If you do that, you'll have a better chance of getting into Project Zero. Dan says, thank you, Stephen. Any comments on selling on Amazon Brazil? Probably a waste of time. The market is not worth the hassle. The worldwide supply chain is so jacked up right now. I would just focus on buying a year's supply and storing it in the US and jacking your prices in Q4. That's how I would handle it. Likes, thank you, Steven. Any comment? So I already did that one. All right. So Great Lakes, how do you boost your mark as helpful votes on reviews? My listing has a few 1 stars at the top, main page. I would like to not be shown at the top. So I get this question from time to time. Here's the bad news. You can't actually displace those, and you can no longer respond to them. Amazon took the ability away from replying to product reviews publicly. So what I recommend you do is contact the buyer if it's a new review. Now, most likely there's going to be old reviews. You won't be able to do that. And so just embrace the fact that you're going to have a few 1-star reviews. You cannot get rid of these. 3% chance of a ticket getting them removed. So sell into the objection. So if somebody wrote a review about how the item fell apart, create a secondary image where you say, now newly improved, so talk up, sell into the objection that's listed in the product reviews. That's my best advice on that one. Apologize. You can't do much better than that. Chris, you are so welcome to answer any questions you like in the comments. I love when people integrate their own feedback. You will say something that I will agree with that I didn't say. So please, Chris, and anybody else, you are welcome to answer any questions inside of the chat. He meticulously went through and reworked the POA after paying $1,000 to another agency to fail to get it through. His version was accepted immediately. Thank you so much to my Amazon guy and Saban. Thank you, Ferminator. Appreciate that. I'm glad we helped you with the POA, and glad that was the best money we helped you with for a coaching session and to get your POA through. I love getting feedback like this. We do truly believe in the products we are selling. Mike says, is there a way to get Amazon to lock the images to our back end on brand registered item? Nope, no way to lock it. So you just have to continually submitting tickets to reflect it backwards. That sucks, Mike. That's just a fact. There's nothing you can do around that. If you ever loaded your products to Vendor Central, or if you ever had secondary sellers selling your items, that's generally why your old images are coming back. How do you remap a SKU to a new ASIN? Ooh, that's a good question. Let me think about that one. So template upload would be my favorite choice, probably. Mr. Beat Design. I would say try and go through and load a template with the UPC, the SKU, and the new ASIN. You might have to delete the SKU to get it to load to a different ASIN. But generally speaking, I've been fine with just template upload. No problem there. Glenn, let's see. Glenn, you've got a super sticker $9 donation there. Thank you very much. My IPI score is 371. How can I move it up to 89 points in 4 weeks? You can't. Sorry, hate to give you that answer. Does that mean I won't be able to send anything into FBA in the last quarter? No, that's not what it means. So the IPI score takes into effect the last 6 months of your storage history. So moving at 89 points in 4 weeks is literally impossible. I've never heard of anybody being able to pull that off. So more than likely, you're going to have a limited storage amount at Amazon. But here's the good news. That does not mean you're probably going to face a terribly difficult storage limitation from a storage standpoint. You probably will, however, have a problem with your restock limitations. Now, for those that don't know the difference between restock limitations and storage limits, restock is your ability to send stuff in. Storage limitations is your ability to store it at Amazon. If either one of those is at its limit, you can't send anything in. Now, generally speaking, a lot of people with unlimited storage, IPI above 450, still have harsh restock limitations. So an IPI score of 371, you may very well have a pretty harsh restock limitation on your account in Q4. The solution here, Glenn, is make sure you have fulfilled by merchant available in Q4. Have your own warehouse, have your own 3PL, whatever it takes to ship stuff out during Q4. That is the true value add that I'm giving you today. Now, that's hard to do. It's hard to find a storage facility right now. Everybody is chock full. The supply chain is in shambles. I personally have a long view. I think it's going to take 2 years from today for the supply chain to recover. Supply chain, 40-foot container out of China, $24,000 right now. Cost $3,000, $3,500 2 years ago. I believe we will see those prices return, but it's going to be 2 years from now. So everything that we're facing, restock limits, IPI scores, those problems are not going anywhere. So it behooves you to control your own inventory in your own warehouse right now. If you don't do that, you're going to run into lots and lots of problems. How do I bypass verification to open multiple Seller Central accounts? You don't need to bypass verification. It's completely acceptable to have multiple accounts. But Jason, 3 tips I'll give you. Number 1, have a unique tax infrastructure, a unique bank account, and a unique credit card. I'll give you 4 actually, and a unique email address. Do those 4 things, and you can open up as many accounts as you want. No problem. Never sell the same item on a second account, though. You do not need to do VPNs and hide your other multiple accounts. All of that stuff is bogus, old hat stuff. Amazon totally links your accounts. They totally know. So just follow the rules. Don't need to bypass verification. Just be honest. Wow, we got a big one coming in from Scuda. Pretty awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support, Scuda, and thank you to everybody else who has donated to the channel. I think this is a record. I've never seen anybody do that. Drop that in. So, Scuda, I'm very thankful for your donation there. We had a lot of good questions from you today. So, sounds like you're a happy camper. Lucas says, I got a trademark through my Amazon guy and registered my trademark, send the code, got an email back. We have reached out to concerned team for investigation. Is this normal? No, it is not. Lucas, I think I remember some of the dialogue I've had back with you. You have the 1% chance where Amazon's team is reviewing your mark by hand. And so this is probably going to be a 10-day process for you. So on average, we get trademarks to go through and brand registered in under 7 days, like 99% of the time. That 1% chance that Amazon doesn't automatically accept you, they go by hand review, takes a couple weeks. And sometimes they reject a mark if it's too close to one of their own IPs. So Amazon owns thousands of trademarks. You just don't know. And so if you won the lottery on picking a mark that's close to one of their IPs, they may reject you. And there's nothing you can do about that. And you won't even know what mark is too close. They'll just blanket reject you. So that can happen. If you have a swear word or something else in your brand name, that can also cause a problem. It's not the case here, but that's, it's another thing that can cause an issue. So I think, Lucas, you just tick it every 2 or 3 days, ask for an update, and keep pressing. Chances are usually we see people's trademarks go through brand registry process. After that, you should be okay. The top seller in one of my products is spending so little money for PPC, yet they are selling 6,000 units a month. That's interesting. Hard to beat this Chinese seller. They have 3 high-selling ASINs in this category. You could have a problem with your price. Could be that Amazon's saying, hey, your price tag is not relevant enough. That could be the problem. Another problem could be that you don't have enough relevant text on your listing. So TJ, if you don't have A+ content, if you don't have 1,000 words of copy on your listing, if your keywords you're advertising on are not in your title, your bullets, your A+ content, the alt text of your photos, check that first. If you have all of that and you're looking for something else, what I would say is increase your bids on your PPC. If you tried both of those things and you're still having a problem, there could be a big relevancy question that you're just simply not converting on them. Look at your CTR rates. Maybe you need to refresh your main image. Look at your conversion rates on the listings. Could be another problem there as well. All right, so kind of looking through to see what other great questions we have today. So why were my questions deleted, Boxer? If you post a link, my moderation automatically deletes it. I can auto approve people. So if you would like to be approved to post a link, just request it. I get spam botted so hardcore that I had to blanket reject all URLs. So that's generally why your comment was deleted. It's not something I do manually. It's automatic. Apologies about that. So feel free to post requests for that. What do you think about Congress antitrust issues with Amazon FBA? Do you think third-party business will halt? I do not. I think Amazon is in bed with the government. I think the CIA pays Amazon too much money for them to get pissed. I think the government literally is paid by Amazon, and the government pays Amazon. I think they're so in bed. There's no way. This is the biggest monopoly the world has ever seen. It is never going away. They broke up Microsoft for like a 1/100th of a fraction of a monopoly issue. So no, I don't think there's any risks here, but Amazon is being vocal for the first time. That's unique. Haven't seen that before, but they have the Washington Post to help them out. So David says you missed me up top. It's just because I haven't to scroll through so many questions, David. I can't get to them all. But I'll kind of scroll up to see what I can find here. And I've been trying to prioritize member questions, but I think I found yours. Any third-party apps to edit template files? I stink using Excel. I do not think I have a good recommendation on this one. I always use Excel. So David, if Excel is a little too technical for you, you may want to get a coaching session or something from Saban on our staff. You might want to check that out. Can help you out with that. How can I get an FCS certification? I actually don't know what that is. Is it the Climate Friendly Pledge? If anybody has any information on that, send it in the chat for Alex to check out. I don't know. And then let's go scrolling up through here, seeing what else we got available. Let's see. What documents do I need to ship and source wooden furniture on FBA? Not a bad one, actually. I don't think you're going to have any problems here. As long as you're not selling like kids' furniture, shouldn't have a problem there. Angela says, in the search term field in the back end, how does Amazon know which keywords are in phrase form? Great question. So we had 2 or 3 people ask in the chat. I haven't answered this yet about SEO and keywords. So in the back end of the search term field, you want to have 0 commas. We actually have a free SEO guide. If anybody wants to check this out, I'll show this on screen here. So if you go over to services, let's see, we're in search term optimization phase 1. So free guide. If anybody wants to check this out, you can download our actual SOP. Just put your name and email in there. I will put you into my email subscription. You can cancel anytime though. And it's a full guide with all of our best practices for SEO phase 1. We remove the duplicates. You want to have no commas. And so how does Amazon know which ones are phrase form? So what happens in the search term field is it takes every word and it recombines it with every other word inside of the search term field. So that combines them, creating multiple iterations of your phrases. This is a very complex conversation to have. So the word growth here combines with the word hair. It also combines with the word treatment. So that's where you get your phrase from. That's why you want to remove the duplicates. Don't write the word hair 3 times because it's a wasted space. You want to have one phrase, exact match, and then it recombines with every other phrase in here. So great question from Angela on Facebook today. What if the product's competition is very low, only 3 or 4 competitors with 500 to 1,000 monthly revenue, but still client wants to launch their product? Should we go for it? You always got to do what a client wants to do, right? Now, it's my job to save clients from themselves sometimes, and I have to be very political when we do that. So what we do is we just make a recommendation and say, hey, I don't see the opportunity here. I see a bigger opportunity over there. and tell them why. Give them metrics. Now, if they say metrics be damned, do what they say. Then when they fire you for the item not growing, you can just refer back to the metrics that you shared where you said this was a bad idea to begin with. They're still going to fire you, and there's nothing you can do about it, Saeed. But at least you're going through the motions of best practices as running an agency there. So, all right. So we got time for a couple more here. Boxer says about my keywords. All right. So let's take a look at this ASIN review here. See what we get. And we'll put in this keyword for ASIN Bravo 08 Sam Zulu Mary Lingo 2 Paul Yellow. Let's see if we get the right one typed in. Might take a second to load. Good old Helium-10 Cerebro. If you do want to get 50% off of your first month with Helium-10, use promo code MyAmazonGuy50. Sponsor keyword 699, organic 1000. Fairly good ratio, close to that 1 PPC to 2 SEO keywords. So if you're trying to grow the listing, that's a good fit. So I don't know what you're looking for comment from me on, but I will say this. You have 50 keywords in the top 15. That's great. So if we were trying to check to see if you're ready for phase 3, you might be. Let's find out. We put in keyword rank 20 through 50 and see how much come up. You have 200. So yes, Boxer, this ASIN is ready for phase 3 SEO. You would come in, you would look at these keywords in ranks 20 through 50. You would sort it by search volume and then look at your competitors and see what would make the most sense. So does car trash make the most sense for your keyword? You're organically ranked 39. It's in striking distance, 18,000 search volume, right? So then as you look through here, we see a correlation of trash and garbage for this. And by and large, we know for a fact we're going to be heavily focused on trash and garbage with whatever keywords you select. So that's how I would do your phase 3 SEO. Give that a whirl and see what happens. My competitor launched a similar product as mine. I have a second one in the same niche ready. Should I launch directly and target his same keywords or wait until his honeymoon period is over? I ignore competition. I always ignore competition. Do what you think is best for you and ignore the competitors. If you have a better product, you'll be just fine. Multiple ships rising together could also help you. The success of your competitor could help your listing. A lot of people don't say that. It's a weird way to think, but that's totally, totally true. Boxer, I did miss the first part of your question. Let me pull it up now. My sell-through rate is 0.5, and in the improve keyword section, it says my keywords are bringing in low traffic. I've been selling for 5 months, 1,000 units with just under 100 reviews. Can I advise? So let's go look at the actual ASIN page and see what we can see here. So how do we open up the ASIN page? There we go. So you're missing the humanization. We talked about that in our other ASIN review today. You're missing a video, very strong review counts, like the parentage, colorful. So I like all those things. So that's in good shape. Banana for scale. This is important. So you can see what it does. You probably need an image with some features. So you talk about the features here. So I guess that one's actually kind of the feature graphic. A+ content is absent. You guys got to have A+ content. Boxer, this is the #1 thing you got to do for your listing here. Get the A+ content up. You will see overnight changes. So 1,065 keywords today. I want you to build your A+ content. Come back to another future live session and say, hey, Steven, last time we had 1,065 organic keywords. We then put up A+ content. And now the new keywords, we'll look it up together live in the session. And I want to bet you right now, Boxer, a free coaching session that if your keywords don't go to at least 1,300 within 7 days of you posting your A+ content, I will give you a free coaching session. That's how confident I am. You need A+ content. So if you want to hire us to build out your A+ content, great. If not, give it a whirl yourself. Maybe you'll get a free coaching session if you come back and I'm wrong. But I am so confident A+ content is indexed. It will help your keywords. You must have A+ content. It will help you with growth and everything else. Very, very helpful. TJ says, how can I prevent East Coasters from buying my oversized merchant fulfilled product? Warehouse in LA is costing too much. If I ship to East Coast, can't add extra shipping fees for different regions. So TJ, this has been a problem on Amazon for well over 7 years. There is no solution to your problem other than opening up a warehouse on the East Coast. That is literally the answer. Amazon does not care about your problem. Amazon wants full national distribution coverage. So if you're having this problem, your solution is one of two things, polar opposite choices. Either open up the East Coast warehouse solving your problem, or ship into FBA. And both of those may require price increases on your part, but that is sincerely the only option you have, because Amazon does not care about your problem. So increase your prices is probably in your future. And so I think you're going to have to do that. So Boxer says, I'll reach out for your team for A+ content today. Great. I hope so. So that is our show today. I couldn't get to everybody's questions. There's just so many of them. If you want to become a member of the channel, so I prioritize your questions, we literally had 40 minutes of member questions. I only had 20 minutes to get to the 150 non-member questions. I did not cover a fraction of those today. I apologize. But I'm really grateful for everybody tuning in every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. If you like today's session or you got value out of it, please leave a comment. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm and helps other people get exposed to it. Don't hesitate. Share a link to this to somebody else that you think will help them grow their sales on Amazon, and consider hiring my Amazon guy to help grow your sales faster on Amazon. So my name is Stephen Pope, and I am the founder of My Amazon Guy, and this chatbot needs to die. We'll see you guys. Bye.